Hello everyone, and welcome to my Iconic Goodbyes channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. YNR spoilers, a Philly reunion sparks Daniel and Sally's romance. According to spoilers on The Young and the Restless, Phyllis Summers will most likely reunite with Billy Abbott. He helped her and Sharon Newman escape their Havenhurst Clinic horror, and all signs point to these two Abbott Communications colleagues falling in love again. But what happens to Sally Spectra if she finds herself unexpectedly single? Phyllis Summers' resentment. It is clear that Phyllis still has resentment for Sally. Some of it may be about her romance with Billy, while others could lead to a wider storyline. How irritated would Phyllis be if she ended up winning Billy back, breaking off his romance with Sally, only for Genoa City's other redhead to end up romancing her son, Daniel Romalotti? It would be like a huge kick in the buttocks for Phyllis. After all, Billy may become her man, whereas Daniel is her son. If Phyllis thought Sally wasn't good enough for Billy, she'd never be able to compete with Daniel, according to his mother. It is time for Daniel Romalotti to move on. In the real world, mourning Heather Stevens' death might and would take years, but this is Genoa City, and fans want to see the character in another romance. Sally and Daniel might be a sizzling and intriguing couple. She's a bit eccentric as a clothes designer and interior decorator, which reflects Daniel's artistic abilities in both painting and video gaming. Still, it's apparent that his mother would be upset about Sally being in his orbit, and the enmity between the two women might boil over if Phyllis becomes involved in Daniel's company. Do you think Daniel and Sally would be an intriguing couple? Sharon's 4 new romantic options. Has she moved on from Nick? According to spoilers on The Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman may have 4 new romance alternatives to consider. Who will help Sharon move on from Nick Newman now that he has cancelled a reunion? Sharon might get together with another ex on Canvas, but let's look at some whole new matching options instead. It's always wonderful for the program to liven things up with some new flying sparks, so here are some new romance options for Sharon. 1. Holden Novak certainly wants to rekindle his romance with Audra Charles, but she may put up a struggle because she is committed to Nate Hastings. Although Holden flirted with Claire Newman as well, she has made her own commitment to Kyle Abbott and may be unwilling to stray. It is easy to envision Holden looking elsewhere for a hot hookup at some point. Sharon and Holden may have some chemistry if given the chance, but it doesn't have to be serious. Should YNR allow Holden and Sharon to hit the sheets? 2. Damian Kane is another new face on Canvas who hasn't been formally taken yet. Despite Damian's desire and Lily Winters, they will undoubtedly encounter some serious roadblocks. Damian is keeping his agenda a secret, so Lily will be upset if further information is revealed. If Lily ultimately rejects Damian, at least temporarily, he may end up in bed with someone else. Would you be amenable to Sharon and Damian having a one-night stand? 3. Aristotle Dumas. There has been a lot of chatter about Aristotle Dumas, so Sharon might be a potential love interest for him when he eventually arrives in Genoa City. It would be interesting to see Sharon fall for this sleazy business tycoon, possibly revealing a softer side of him. 4. Daniel. Although Daniel Romalotti Jr. is definitely no stranger to the canvas, his romance with Sharon could be if YNR chose to go there. Could Sharon and Daniel form a decent match now that they have moved on from their previous pain? We can't think of a better way to test Sharon and Phyllis Summers' newfound understanding than by having Sharon sizzle with her kid. Regardless, The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate Sharon deserves the chance to move on from Nick, so who will help her get started? Sharon will make some guesses about what will happen next and try to sort things out, so keep an eye out for any major romantic developments. Tracy shares her suspicions about Alan with Jack, and, spoiler, reveals their history with Aristotle Dumas. In the most recent Young and the Restless ad, Tracy appears to realize that something is wrong with Alan, and Phyllis's emotions get the best of her. Plus, the enigma of Aristotle Dumas grows. Since Victor informed Lily that Damian's ascension to financial prominence was made possible by a mysterious benefactor named Aristotle Dumas, she has been eager to learn more. However, Victor does not appear to have shared all with her. Michael approaches Victor and says, "That makes it sound like you and Dumas have a history I don't know about." Victor responds, "Yes, we do." Billy and Nick, with the help of Chance, were able to rescue Sharon and Phyllis. While the tragedy led Sharon to confront Nick about their emotions, Phyllis remained afraid that the person who had done this to them was still out there. On the edge of a complete collapse, Phyllis laments to Billy in the park, "I can't let my kids see me like this." He pleads, "How can I help?" She replies, "I have an idea. I have an idea about how you can help." Tracy noticed a strange message on Alan's phone concerning precautions being taken at the clinic following an incident just as they were set to celebrate Alan's proposal. He made the ludicrous assertion that he had been hacked. Kyle connected the texts, which sounded like alarms, to Sharon and Phyllis being kept at a clinic as she told her family about the incident. Then came another surprise. Alan informed Tracy that he needed to travel to Paris alone to organize a surprise for her before their hasty wedding. Tracy appears to have finally realized something, as she informs Jack next week, "It's Alan." Jack says, "Wait, what about Alan?" Tracy cries, "I'm not convinced he's who he claims to be." Nick's love life is about to take a turn, but will it be toward Sharon or Phyllis? Following the dramatic rescue at the spooky abandoned psychiatric clinic, young and restless Nick found himself in yet another terrifying situation when Sharon questioned him about his emotions. Fans are speculating if he will reconcile with one of his ex-wives, perhaps her or Phyllis. During the honest chat at Crimson Lights, Nick said that he had considered getting back together with Sharon, but he didn't want to pursue it because their past was too painful. He had previously wounded her and lacked self-control, possibly due to a lack of forgiveness. Nick told Sharon that he was unwilling to sacrifice their close friendship and co-parenting relationship by accompanying her to London and maybe reigniting their passion. Phyllis interrupted Nick and Sharon's intimate talk, which might serve as a metaphor for their past. Summer, not Phyllis, expressed concern about her mother, who is not doing well following the ordeal in the former mental facility. Nick left Sharon to go with his daughter to check on his ex, but not before promising Sharon that he would consider accompanying her on the trip. This left young and restless fans wondering if Nick would eventually forgo the opportunity to reconcile with Sharon overseas in order to stay in Genoa City and keep an eye on the suffering Phyllis, potentially re-engaging in a love story with her. We believe Nick and Sharon will reconcile in the future. However, it's evident that the writers are utilizing ploys to drag things out. The dream sequence includes teases, rescues, distractions, and Nick's concerns. If the Newman decides to stay in town to keep an eye on Phyllis, Sharon may interpret this as a hint that it isn't meant to be. She may even meet someone fresh in London, delaying her reunion with Nick even further. Phyllis appears to be relying on her business partner and the man who saved her life, Billy, in the near future. So, unless the young and restless writers are planning a Nick-Phyllis-Billy-Sally triangle, Nick is unlikely to pursue the redhead romantically. However, she and Nick cheated during her previous relationship with Billy, so anything is conceivable. Do you think Nick will go back with Sharon or Phyllis? The Young and the Restless spoilers for March 24th, Jack's alarm bells, Michael investigates. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of March 24th to 28th hint that Jack Abbott will experience some difficulties as Billy Abbott comes to his aid. Michael Baldwin will also be investigating, so let's chat about the upcoming surprises in Genoa City. For starters, Summer Newman will stay concerned about Phyllis Summer's odd conduct. Summer is legitimately concerned, but she may use her worry to bring Kyle Abbott closer. Summer has been relying heavily on Kyle recently, so more Phyllis turmoil may provide her with another opportunity to bond with him. Claire Newman has been trying not to be upset by Summer's activities, but she may be pushed to her breaking point sooner or later. Phyllis, on the other hand, will do everything she can to avoid her children as her life spirals south. Phyllis is clearly not in a good emotional state, therefore she will not allow Summer and Daniel Romalotti Jr. witness her struggle. However, Phyllis will allow Billy to come to her aid, so she will provide a recommendation for how he may assist her. Billy has been known to take women up to rooftops for some ranting, so that could be a possibility if Phyllis needs to scream her head off and relieve some stress. Diane Jenkins Abbott will continue to be keen to show off the Abbott mansion renovations. Diane hasn't decided when she'll reveal the alterations, but she's convinced Jack will appreciate them when they do. Tracy Abbott is preparing to set off some alarms, so Jack's thoughts will eventually wander. Tracy will make some alarming connections and realize Alan Loran may not be who he claims to be. Will Tracy suspect Martin Loran is alive for another twin switcheroo? Regardless, Tracy will have a bad feeling about Alan's true identity and the danger her fiancé represents. YNR fans can also forget about the hardware store security film because Chancellor is having it evaluated. It won't be long before Alan appears on the tape, giving Chance a key clue about who purchased the gear from the imprisonment game. On a brighter note, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will relish the proximity of their love reunion. Now that Chelsea and Adam have slept again, they will agree that this seems right and will continue to enjoy their new beginning. Michael will feel compelled to investigate at the athletic club after Victor Newman makes a reference to his past with Aristotle Dumas. Because Michael will question Victor about his relationship with Aristotle, Victor will reveal some troubling truths and possibly some regrets. Victor and Aristotle appear to have some bad blood, thus they may be preparing for another round of feuding in GC in the future. The Young and the Restless spoilers claimed the week of March 24th to 28th will offer some scary prophecies and shocking news, so stay tuned. YNR spoilers, Cain Ashby's return could be trouble for Lily and Damien's relationship. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates indicate that Damien Cain and Lily Winter's relationship may be jeopardized. What if Damien's hidden business partner is Lily's ex-husband and the father of her children, Cain Ashby? Cain was a popular character several years ago. Cain was a cherished character on the CBS serial series from 2007 to 2019. This rehabilitated con artist who turned businessman won the hearts of many, especially because of his relationship with Lily. It's been 5 years since his last appearance, so now is the time for him to make a comeback and create some drama. Cain last seen on YNR when he left to find his father, Colin Atkinson, who had attempted to steal Devon Winter's wealth. Since then, there have been no updates on Colin or Cain, but the chance of his return remains, and it may occur much sooner than thought. Who might Damien's secret business partner be? Recently, there has been a rise of interest in Damien's mystery business associate, Aristotle Dumas, who has yet to be cast. Fans are buzzing with hypotheses, notably the possibility that Aristotle is a character from Genoa City's past, with many believing it to be Cain. If Cain turns out to be Damien's covert companion, it will be an exciting revelation, laying the door for great drama. Cain, once a prominent person in Genoa City's economic community, was shunned because of his shady past. However, if he is Aristotle, he may find himself in high demand, with the Newmans, Winters, and Chancellor all ready to work with him. A second chance for Lane? Cain is about to recapture his career success, but his personal life poses a different challenge. He is determined to win back his ex-wife, Lily. However, Lily is currently in a committed relationship with Damien, who would face a difficult situation if he discovers that Cain is her previous husband. He will have to choose between pursuing his romance with Lily and retaining his friendship with Cain. Meanwhile, Lily will be caught aback by Cain's surprise return. The last time they met, she insisted that they go on and not renew their romance. However, Cain's presence is bound to elicit strong emotions. Will Lily give up a promising new relationship for the opportunity to reunite with her past? The Young and the Restless spoilers include Chance's lightbulb moment, Billy coddling Phyllis, and Martin running like the wind. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 24th, Martin Laurent alias Alan Laurent raises concerns, but Phyllis Summers remains quiet. We can tell you that crack detective Chancellor is on the verge of breaking the case wide open, so here's everything you need to know to stay informed. Before we get ahead of ourselves, keep in mind that YNR will be preempted on March 20th and 21st to broadcast the NCAA basketball tournament, also known as March Madness. Alan is feeling the heat shortly after being released from Crazy Town. Phyllis was feeling her oats and eating hamburgers with her children Summer Newman and Daniel Romalotti. However, now that she has had time to contemplate, her thoughts about being in captivity begin to overtake her. Anyone would be heartbroken by what Phyllis has gone through, but she is a proud woman who does not want her children to see her vulnerable. Part of it is for their own benefit, since they've been worried about her for quite some time. But, like any good son and daughter, Daniel and Summer are concerned about Mama Bear. Phyllis avoids trauma. Fortunately, there is someone who can reach out to her, Billy Abbott. He assisted in her rescue, and who could doubt that their emotional reunion would bring them closer? Billy offers to help, and Phyllis agrees. Who is Sally Spectra? Billy and Phyllis have gone through a lot together, so they should get along great. Martin's red flags. Meanwhile, the walls close in on him. Tracy Abbott can't get over the security alarms on his phone and how Alan shouted at her. Will Tracy connect the dots when she hears Kyle Abbott discuss the clinic madness? Tracy mulls over the story, wondering about the connection between the messages and the captives. When Alan travels for Paris without Tracy, she gets concerned. Alan promises that they will be together again soon, but Tracy is a sharp cookie who was not born yesterday. Chance eventually discovers the Alan connection to Sharon and Phyllis through the hardware shop security tape. Will Chance solve the mystery in time, or will Tracy be the next victim? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.